Hi, folks. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. Want to help you get your mojo back. So we're going to be talking about Mars opposing Pluto, squaring Jupiter, and what that looks like, and all the date stats to bring you, excuse me, up to speed with your energy, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what you can do to affect the most positive change. So come on by, say hello to me. All right, so let's start. Pluto represents core transformation. It doesn't do anything to you. Mars represents momentum, whether it be for aggression, assertiveness, productivity, or just pure anger. That depends on you. It just represents momentum. And hi, Barbie. How are you? And Jupiter represents expansion. Do you eat a million cookies and expand that way? Or do you put something into a process to look at how can I expand my horizons? How can I expand my awareness, my expertise, my business, my relationships? So the basic definitions are expansion, momentum, core transformation. So in astrology, when we have, let me go over here. When we have Mars in Cancer, it's a quieter, more internal fire engine going, which can come out as sarcastic, or somebody's just doing their thing, and suddenly they explode because they've been holding it in. Or it's more of a practical, I'm just shut the door. I won't be talking to you for 8 hours. I got to get something done. So there's more of an internal expression. And then we move into Mars going into Leo, which is going to be also exact opposite of Pluto in Aquarius. And when Leo and Aquarius come together or are at odds, say that fast 3 times, there's drama, which is what we come here to break up so that we can see the truth. But melodrama is when we get stuck in the drama and we can't let it go. And it loops around and around and around and around and around. Okay, bored? Yeah, me too. And you're like, oh, not that again. And we turn off the TV, which I hope you do often, because it hasn't changed in over 2,000 years. But what is changing are the hearts and minds of people who are becoming more and more conscious, more and more aware. And now when we look at that energy, well, let's just, I'm going to go here. Oopsie, wrong one. Where's my, let's go here. And we're going to move that until we see 29 degrees. And okay, there we go. So by May 20th, Mars is going to be in Leo. Now, the opposition, 180 degrees, represents the part of you that where the right hand is doing something the left hand knows nothing about. Oh, it's hidden over here. But here you are like, and over here is doing something. That's your unconscious self in action. And you don't understand why this thing just happened to you. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do. Well, how come? Because some part of you is at odds with yourself. And when there is resistance, there is opposition. Shall I repeat myself? When you have resistance, you create opposition. It's like you're having a crap day for whatever reason. You go to the supermarket and somebody's talking about how great a medication is because they, gave it to their mother that was prescribed, and you're thinking, no, it's not. And you get all, yeah, well, you might want to try this instead. So how you might express yourself, how you might create that momentum is also based on your belief system. And a belief is something, it creates a pattern, and it's just something you think repeatedly. That's it. Smog will kill you. Someone once said to me, yeah, there's no proof that Monsanto causes any kind of harm. And I thought, oh, okay. I really didn't have any resistance to this person because we weren't resonating the same frequency. And I thought, oh, they must work in that industry because they are biased toward a particular outcome. But yeah, documents and the stats are in. Monsanto creates poison. That's just a fact. But I wasn't going to tell this person because I would have created opposition because I had no stake in the claim. I don't care what they believe. I know what I believe, and that works for me. So, because I won't use Roundup in my garden because it poisons the earth. Now, if someone believes something different, they will have like the data to prove it. And here's the biased, but they don't know that it's biased. Here's the information. It's like, whatever you need to do, just go do it. Be happy. Just be happy. I'm not judging you. I just don't agree with you. So you see what I'm saying? But when the negative energy of Mars momentum in Leo, drama, wound, and now the high end we'll talk about in a second, but the high end of Mars in Leo is the part of you that is magnanimous, that is passionate, that wants to burst into song when they see something beautiful, when you want to give and share and help other people. The downside or the mundane version of Mars in Leo, the momentum is more self-centered. Now, people will say, yeah, the ego, it's so big and it's so evil and it's so negative. You know what? The eagle, the eagle has landed. The ego is your personal assistant. That's all it is. It reminds you to breathe, to eat, to, stay protected. That's all it is. It's not in control unless you allow it to be. So it's not a negative thing. But if you come from a place of resistance and victim, then it becomes negative because then you sound like you are owed something because you exist. Now, because you exist, you can have everything. No one's stopping you except you. You see, you understand the distinction. So when you understand that you get frustrated, if you get frustrated with people, because we're looking at the opposition, and that is right here. By the time we get to Saturday, because today is the 18th. Oh, and by the way, in 20 minutes, 24 years ago, I had my first major contraction and then gave birth many hours later in the wee hours of the 19th. So Mars in Leo opposing Pluto in Aquarius. This particular opposition is really fascinating. And that's why I wanted to talk about it today, because they are both squaring Jupiter. And a square is a 90-degree angle. And it's that feeling of conflict, but toward a resolution, conflict toward I need a solution, conflict toward this isn't working for me. So it's not conflict like you want to go to war, although some people with a certain consciousness or lack of consciousness will. No judgments. It's just what is. But when I look at Pluto, Pluto represents core transformation. And that part of you that, you're awakening to the shore of your unconscious self. And you will have subtle awarenesses with Pluto in Aquarius, because we just came out of Pluto in Capricorn. We're going back to it very soon, in another month plus, I think. Hang on. Let me just see. When are we? Let me do this. Events. When Pluto is at 29 degrees of Capricorn. July, end of July through early 2024, Pluto will retrograde back into constellation of Capricorn, and it represents, wait a minute, I just want to be clear on where I'm headed before I shoot out of the cannon. I want to clean up some energy. I'm going to clean up some stuff. I'm going to review, revisit, clean up some stuff. But I'll talk about that more next time. So let me just go to the previous. And oh darn, I went to the wrong place. So here we are. Okay. I hope that is clear. Please come by, say hello. We're talking about Mars opposing Pluto and both of them squaring Jupiter. Now, the time frames of what I'm talking about, the opposition began on May 6th from Cancer to Aquarius, but now it's going to be a direct opposition between Leo and Aquarius, Mars and Pluto. And that is May 20th to June 5th. So May 20th through June 5th, this is in play. And what it helps you to do is to recognize your momentum, your feelings withheld or overlooked or wounded, and what it's waking up in you. So let's just say you have a situation where you're working really hard and you work overtime and you're very exuberant and you have a wealth of energy and you're always giving and you're at work and you're giving, 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 giving. And then one day you wake up and you're just tired. You're just tired from having given so much. And then somebody comes by and says, well, didn't you get that thing done? And you're thinking, I just walked in the door. Have you not seen what I've been doing for 6 months? Are you out of your freaking mind? Right? So then you snap. And so that's where the extremes come in. So, or let's say you're looking to hire someone and you go through the interview process and they're not right for the job, or you give them a chance because they sound amazing. And then suddenly they disappear, they ghost you, or they don't do what they didn't do what they were asked to do and they lied. Or they said, yeah, I can do that. And then they're thinking, I'll just take the job. I'll figure it out along the way. But that's not what you wanted. And so you find out the extreme brings out the extreme in you. And so then you have to make a decision. Do I stay with this person? Do I just fire them and find somebody else? Well, you have to see what's going on inside of you. What precipitated this attraction? Because everything is about attraction. You magnetize this person into your life. You hired them because whatever, they reminded you of your grandmother, or they sounded upbeat and positive, or they had all the credentials that you were looking for, but they didn't make the grade. They didn't even get out of the gate and they were not coming through, right? So what part of you is attracting something that is not working? So that's where you're starting to wake up. And this can apply to any area of life. You want to look to see where Mars in Leo is in your chart. And directly opposite will be Pluto. And so those two houses, you're going to see my hands, those two houses will show you exactly the topics. And the first house in your chart is dependent upon your rising sign. So if you are a Cancer rising sign, Mars and Leo would represent, depending on the degree, would represent either the first or the second house. And then, of course, directly opposite would be Pluto. So you have to look and see, what are the topics that keep coming back to me? Where do I feel resistant? Why do I feel like I'm not, what am I on? Is everybody on crazy pills? Will Ferrell in that, I forget, in Zoolander. It was just so funny. What, is everybody on crazy pills? That's what you might come to between now and June 5th. Now, Mars will continue to stay once the opposition is complete and they have gone out of range by degree. Then Mars will still be square to Jupiter. Now we're going to talk about that in a second. And then through June 13th, Pluto will still be square. So it's going to be like this. Wow, what did I learn on my 6-week Pluto Mars vacation or 2-month? So that's something to take into consideration. You look at your life right now. We always look at what is. Hey, Rhonda's here. We look at what is. What's happening? How are we responding to it? What's our momentum around this thing? And when I think back over my life, I wish I had understood more about my motivation and my actions, because then I couldn't, it's, someone once said to me, well, I'm not perfect. And it's like, well, you're perfect because you exist. You're done. Then it's just a matter of choice. So you just make choices. You're divine. So that's your matter. So what's the matter? You're the matter. So whatever's happening in your world, it's about you creating choices from a place of inner self knowing, from a place of love and compassion, from a place of healthy boundaries. And know this, if you keep saying to yourself, I got to set a boundary to those crazy people because I don't want them in my house, then you're focused on them. And guess who's coming to dinner? The people you're focused on. And if you're not aware that you are focused on it, watch your language, because what you're saying is the end result of what you're feeling and thinking. Before you even open your mouth, it's already begun. It's already in there. So let's look at Jupiter for just a moment while I take a sip of my decaf. How is everyone doing today? Come by, say hello to me. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, whether you're watching me on YouTube or on Facebook. And let me see. 7 to 8 to 9, 30, 31. So next week will be the Oracle reading week on the 25th. Okay, just to keep you in the loop. Now, so let's talk about Jupiter. Can I get this any closer? I don't think so. All right, Jupiter. Jupiter represents expansion. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system, and once deemed the king of planets. And I have to say, when Jupiter represents publishing, cultures, higher philosophy, it represents travel and or judgments, which is different than evaluations. A judgment is, oh, look at her. She's wearing those shoes. How old does she think she is? An evaluation is, oh, she just bought new shoes, right? So one comes with insecurity and condemnation. The other one comes with an observation. She just got new shoes. Whether or not you think she should be wearing them, which is none of your business. So mind your business. Hi, Angela. Hi, Christy. So with Jupiter, we're looking at where are we expanding? Jupiter spends, where Mars spends about 6 weeks in a sign, unless it's in retrograde motion like it was last year, it spent like 6 months. But in Gemini, but Jupiter spends 1 year in a sign, and it just entered Taurus. So Taurus, sun, rising, and moon will feel more expansive through their actions, but everybody's going to feel it. And it's not because the planet's doing it to you. It's because you are making certain choices that are expansive or contractive. Is that a word? I don't know, but I'm saying it is right now. And so when you look at where Jupiter in Taurus is transiting in your chart, I don't mean where Jupiter exists in your natal chart, but where is it transiting? Where is it now in your chart? You just look to see where 0 degrees Taurus is in your chart through, I think, 10 degrees, and you'll know. And so, or 15 degrees. So when you do this observation thing and you say, oh, okay, let me just look at my life right now. Where am I expanding? Where would I like to expand? And then it's in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus represents stability, security, values. That's the part of you that wants to make sure there's money in the bank before you go spend it on those new shoes that someone may or may not be judging. But if your vibe is at a certain frequency, and that means if you are feeling grateful, appreciative, love, kindness, and you have healthy boundaries, most people like that won't come into your arena because you will not be attracting them. Everything is in your world because of you, because you magnetized it into your life. So it's not random, and it's not a flip of the coin. It's there because of you. So you might be thinking, well, why is this person in my life? Or why did I have that situation happen? Well, check yourself, look in the mirror, close your eyes, meditate, get really clear on what did it feel like? Did it feel familiar? Does a person feel like you just met the same person 10 years ago? But these are new people. So be very aware of who you're meeting, who you're drawing into your life, and what your behavior is, what's your momentum. That would be Mars, because if you are giving more than you are getting back, there's a pattern. It's repeating itself. If you are expanding on creating more wealth or health or passion or purpose, you look and see, again, Where are you coming from in the whole spectrum? What do you want to be doing with these people, with these things, with this idea? Okay. Does that clear that up? Because with Jupiter in Taurus, there's a grounded feeling to what wealth is. And I meditate every day, sometimes twice a day. And some of my meditations are between 23 minutes and 2 hours. And I had one the other day where I didn't fall asleep, but I went into that zone, the big place that I call the big place, what Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza would call the quantum. And I felt this expansion, but I also felt it coming back into my body. Typically in the past, I would meditate and leave, right? Just go that way. And then go, okay, I feel better. I'm just going to wake up, or I'm just going to come back into my body. Well, this is the new thing that's happening for me. And I find this fascinating because I am a Leo moon at 3 degrees. And so now my momentum is to bring it back into my body, which I've been doing as much as possible over the years so that I can be here in my body. And what came up for me in one of my meditations was very fascinating. And that was, I was so blissed out, but I was so present. I was so here, but I wasn't spacey. I was out there, but I was here. So to me, that was like and I'm a Taurus. So, okay, Taurus and Leo, I could totally relate to this feeling of being expansive, yet very here, very now, very grounded. And I had this momentary, it would be like in a Marvel movie where something just transforms. And I felt spirit, me, energy, me, and then like fast time lapse photography growth of things. And I was like, oh, what is that? And it took maybe 2 seconds tops. And I realized it was skin and hair and nails. And it was like, oh my gosh, I had a memory. I had a memory of incarnating into a body for one of my first incarnations. And it was like, oh my gosh, wow, that was freaky. And so from spirit to physical, there's now a union. And so my oppositions are less. Because if you look at something, when you collapse space and time, I don't want to get too much into quantum, right? But when you collapse space and time, you're in the present moment. And the present moment, everything is there. So when you leave the present moment, or when you leave what you think is the oneness so that you can go and explore and see what's coming your way, you have to separate in your mind, you have to separate yourself so that you can be different from that person or different from the situation. So you get like, you come out of yourself to go look at the world, and you look at the world and go, yeah, that's not me. Oh, but that's me. And then, oh, wow. Okay. I am one with everything. And so that separation creates the opposition. And then the unity comes back together to say, I am expansive in a very real sense. I hope that was not too out there. And I'm going to pull a couple of cards on that too, because the breakthrough that we're all about to have, and I think I started to have mine the other day, because I've been meditating twice a day. Now, I used to meditate 6 hours at a stretch. This was before I had a husband and a child, because you can't do that when you have a husband and a child. Or you can, but you won't have much of a relationship to your family. And as I said earlier, 3 minutes from now, 24 years ago, I had my first contraction in a pool in Burbank, where women were exercising and escorted, 2 of them escorted me into the ladies' room so that I could have my contractions, get ready, and go home and get ready for the baby. And so I'm having this experience now where it's like, now I'm giving birth to me. And it's that next level of stuff. So with Jupiter, right here, Jupiter representing your expansion, publishing. I'm also writing a series of books. I just finished the first 3 covers because I'm also an artist, but adding marketing to it and rewriting. I rewrote the first book to tie into the second, and now the third is about a quarter of the way done. So I'm really excited. Like, I have passion. I have momentum towards something. So if I come across an insecurity, or something bubbles up from the subconscious, unconscious part and says, oh, wait, you were about to attract the same kind of thing. Oh, let me just check my feeling. What's my vibe doing? Momentum. Where do I feel like at odds, extreme, or opposition? And the opposition is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. The degrees in astrology just relate to ease or tension based on what you're choosing. Is that clear? Does that help you navigate the next couple of weeks? Because through June 13th, okay, well, let me back up if you're just joining us and you're just watching. May 20th through June 5th, Mars in Leo is opposing Pluto in Aquarius. And then Mars is squaring Jupiter through June 8th. Mars squaring Jupiter through June 8th. So it's like, what's my momentum? Does it feel right? Does it help me to feel secure? Now, if I come from a place of fear, that would be Pluto. If I come from a place of fear, I won't feel secure. So why would I keep moving forward? It will create more resistance and more opposition, you see? And then the victim voice comes out. So I'm just going to back up and go, let me think about that direction. And if someone says, oh yeah, you're at work, and someone says, we want you to work on this project, and you're thinking, I don't know how to do that. Our kid called the other day, and they're an Aquarius rising, a Taurus Aquarius rising. So they understand what's happening. And they're like, oh, this one job, they have 3 jobs. This one job that I'm doing, they want me to do Facebook ads, Dad. Can you help me? And I know a little bit about blah, blah, blah. So my husband filled Finn in on what's going on. And they were like, you're kidding. That's easier than I thought. Because they were already, the cortisol levels were so high, they were already freaking out. But they knew enough to ask for help. And then when they asked for help and they got the information that they needed, they were like, oh, wow, that's easier than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it is. Because if you know someone, you can ask for help, right? That's the practical side of Taurus. Sometimes a Taurus will be so like, let me think about it. Let me work on that. I'll just do it myself. It's just so much easier. I'll do it myself. But now you're going to get to the point of, I don't have time. I don't want to do it. I'm going to hire someone. Oh, I don't have a lot of money. Well, you can trade or barter. You can manifest. It all starts with your belief system. If you think you don't have money, you won't have money. If you think they won't want to work part-time because most people want full-time, whatever you think is what you're going to manifest, is what I'm saying. So you can start saying to yourself, like I have said to many people recently, every day is Christmas, and Christmas always works out for me. And I'm not talking about religion. No. I am talking about the beauty and the spirit of, excuse me, light and generosity. And it works out. It's always working out for me. That's an Abraham Hicks phrase. It's always working out for me. My version is Christmas always works out for me, and every day is Christmas. Because every moment I am present with what I am doing, thinking, feeling, acting on, or not acting on purpose with a conscious intention, I am creating my next moment. And in that reality, I am removing the tension, but becoming aware of the old pattern so I could say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah? Is that good? And when Mars is squaring Jupiter, you're looking at a thing that says, I want to go in that direction, and I want to force fit a trip because my miles are running out on American Airlines, and I better get it now. And it's like, so I just make a trip, but it's not the right time. So you're forcing a momentum. Or maybe you could talk to a representative and say, can we carry that over another month because I've been ill and I haven't been able to travel? And if you believe it, they will come through for you. Okay? Make sense? And then, because there's a solution behind every conflict, there's a solution. There's always an answer. And so Pluto squaring Jupiter is going to be more on an unconscious level, but more, so it's like a slingshot coming back, right? Jupiter is like moving toward the thing you want for security, but you got to face the fear about security. Oh, what if I don't make enough money? Oh, what if my health isn't good? Or I'm not going to that vacation thing with, I have to drop 50 pounds. Are you kidding me? I feel like a blob. And so whatever insecurities are coming up, the best way to deal with them is to be as present as possible and to tell yourself that you are connected to your higher inner being, which is you. You're the physical aspect. And just chill a little bit. Expand through being a little more chill and being grounded in what you value, what you truly value. That speaks to all parts of you. And not people pleasing, not overextending. Jupiter can overindulge. It's like, oh, I'll have 6 more cookies. That's okay. I'll start tomorrow. Start right now. Now is the only time that exists. Now is now. And so then we're going to come through this by the time we get to June 13th, and I'll pull this card to wrap up. By the time we get to June 13th, we are looking at, oh my gosh, I just learned so much about myself, about that person, about that organization, about the thing that I was about to do, about my health, about my doctor, whatever. I just learned so much. And I'm so grateful. Because why? Because Christmas always works out for me. Because everything comes to me easily, effortlessly. Because I am pure conscious love. Say, just repeat after me. I am a sentient, celestial, eternal being. Oh, and a lot of cards just flew out. And I'll take them. Okay, because first we have polarity. That is the that's the polarity is the masculine, feminine, the here, the there, the extremes. And that's what the opposition represents. Get to know what your extremes are. Oh my gosh. Then in the stillness, meditation, being present, get to know how you feel, what is real, what is unreal doesn't mean just because it's on your kitchen table that it's real. It's also real if you believe it. So, conceptually, before you open your mouth, before you say anything, before you touch stuff that, oh, I can touch that. I can look at that. That's pretty little crystal. That's a real thing, right? Well, it's all real if you deem it to be real. So get still, get quiet, know what you believe. Then visualize that you are a magnet for prosperity and abundance because you are that celestial, divine, eternal being who lives in love because you are love. You are love. Love that you are love. Love that you are love. That's the vibration. That's the perfection. Just be in a state of love. And just create repetition around that feeling. Create repetition around that feeling. And what you have is, it's a green card, so it's going to look green screeny weird. What you have is perpetual transformation. I think that's way cool. Thank you. All right, my friends, I'll be back next week, Oracle reading. So bring your questions, and I hope you have a very conscious, present week. As always, like, share, subscribe, and I wish you peace. Thank you for being here. See you next time.